research. It's much better if I'm close to it. So our theme for today is expansion. And the reason is because when we think about stress, we know we have a stress response. And that stress response is all about contraction, right? Fight, I'm going to contract my muscles. Flight, I'm going to contract some other muscles. Freeze, I'm going to contract everything. And this is all in the name of protection, right? Like I'm going to protect myself, either fighting, flighting, or freezing. So this sets us up for what's called a negativity bias. Have you heard of the negativity bias? Nobody?
It's like glass half empty attitude.
Yeah, it is. And it can feel like something inherent because it is. We are hardwired with a negativity bias. And the reason is because it's much more germane to our safety and our survival to know where the bad things are, right? If we can identify the person, the place, or the things that are harmful for us, we have a much better chance of surviving. So, for instance, if you think about this from like a developmental standpoint, like the species, right? If I know where the poison berries are, I can tell everybody where the poison berries are. It doesn't matter where the tasty berries are, those are easy to find, but stay away from the poison ones. So you can think of it like this. Negative stuff has like a Velcro effect on our brain, and positive has sort of like a Teflon effect. I don't know about you, but in full transparency, it's really much easier for me to remember negative things. Like I can tell you a negative story all day, but when someone says to me, let's do a gratitude practice, I'm like, no, I don't want to do a gratitude practice. But it is one of the best things to do. Gratitude in specific. Because what gratitude does is it shifts your mind to being thankful for what you already have, which is an expansive practice. I don't think about what I lack, I think about what I have. So specifically gratitude, being thankful for things you already have, is a way to expand past the negativity bias of complaint and criticism, right? Here's what I don't have, here's what I wish I had, here's what I want, here's what's wrong, here's what I don't like. This is the voice of our inner critic trying to keep us safe. It's protective, but it's also constrictive. So to counteract that, we expand. So if you take just a moment, and again, if it's easier for you to sort of go inward by closing your eyes, and you just take a moment to close your eyes or look down at the table, and just sort of let yourself sink into a bit of an introspective state. I think I've used it before, but for me, it's really useful and helpful to imagine like a flashlight that I'm turning inward. And for just a moment, let some thoughts come to the surface of gratitude. Something you have. Not something you wish you had or don't have or need or are grasping for, but something that's already available to you. Maybe you interact with it every day, maybe once a day. This could be family. It could be a food. For me, it's always coffee. But something that is in your life that you have an abundance for, it's easy to get to. And express thankfulness. Whatever that feels like in your body, in your mind, in your heart. As you inhale, just expand that thought and maybe include a few more things. Maybe it's a pet, even if they're tricky. Maybe it's your vehicle or clothing. Maybe it's a relationship. Whatever it is, just let it fill you up as you inhale and exhale a couple more times. Letting the feeling, the image, the sense of those things you're grateful for really fill you up. When you're interacting with that person or in that place, or indulging in that thing, how do you feel? And be thankful. And just notice how it feels. Maybe it brings a little smile to your face. To practice a little physical expansion while we're here, with your next inhale, see if you can just expand the space behind your collarbones a little bit. Maybe your shoulders roll back or down. Maybe that space across the front of your chest just opens a little bit and you exhale. And with the next inhale, see if you can expand your rib cage a little bit. Maybe notice that down along the sides and you exhale. And with this third one, see if you can expand your abdomen a little bit, if that feels okay. Notice where you feel that in the low back or the hips. And then with this fourth breath, try expanding the whole torso. So under the collarbones, the rib cage, the abdomen, maybe the spine even lengthens. Get a little bit bigger with that inhale. And then as you exhale, let it all go. And then just a natural breath or two. And open your eyes. Does anybody want to share what they were grateful for? It can be really helpful to hear other people.
My dog.
Your dog, yeah. I sort of had my dog come in. I was like, he's such a pain in the neck. But I am grateful for him. Anybody else?
My kids.
Yeah, your kids. That's awesome. Thank you.
ChatGPT.
Yes! I'm with you 100%. ChatGPT. She saved my ass this week. Anybody else?
I'm grateful to have you here.
Oh,
I'm grateful to have the space and to have all of you here.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for those who shared. And if you had an experience of gratitude, maybe you noticed like the expansion, right? It kind of expanded your mind a little bit. You had to reach a little maybe, like, get past that negativity bias a bit. So that's a nice way to expand the mind. We expanded the body with some breathing. Let's do a little bit more body expansion, a couple stretches. So just think expanding upward, like just reach up. Oh, how's that feel? That feels really good to me. Just expand your hands, your fingers. Maybe you bring them together. Maybe you can even expand, like if you're doing a lot of typing and texting, the wrists. Bring that down. Maybe expand a little twist. Expand one way. Yeah, some cracks. Expand the other way. Crunch, crunch. Yep. Stress tends to get packed into the shoulders when you think about it. I think I've said this before, but like fight, flight, we're gonna tighten up the big joints, the shoulders and the hips. So if you want, bring your arms. I know you guys are kind of close, but just kind of keeping it here. But just expand the chest a little bit. Take a deep breath in. Yeah, you can pretend you're at a rager dancing. Whatever, it's all good. And then feel this, but while you're contracting the front, notice the expansion in the back, right? Your back's getting a little bit bigger. So expand the chest, expand the back and the shoulders. And one more time, big expansion in the chest, and then the shoulders. Great. Whew. You might be able to expand your legs out a little bit. Yeah, just kind of bring them out. Move your ankles. Wiggle your toes. Extra points if you kick someone under the table. All right, and then maybe just a couple shoulder rolls. See if you want to lean side to side. Just some little intuitive movement, like what feels good. Maybe reaching over. You can expand in the front. You can expand in the back. But just take up a little space. As always, extra points for bumping into somebody. Make them expand the other way. And then the last thing to expand, to think about, is your heart. So one of the ancient ways in a variety of traditions, in yoga and Buddhism, to expand the heart is what's called a metta meditation. So we're going to shrink it real short. It's usually something that takes like 5 to 10 minutes. And what you do is you start with well-wishing towards yourself. Then you expand that to well-wishing with another, like a small group. It might be one person that you feel warmly towards. Maybe it would be like this classroom. And then you eventually expand out to the whole world, all living creatures. May they be at peace. So we're going to do that, but I'm going to shorten it, like I said, to about 1 minute so you guys can get on with your day. But you know what to do here, right? Kind of get a little comfy. Find your feet on the floor. Take a relaxed position, whatever that looks like for you. Closing the eyes if you'd like, or looking at the table. If the person across from you is interested in like staring, like that's fine too. Whatever works. And drop into your heart space. Now there's no real prescription for that. It's going to feel different for everyone. But wherever you feel like love lives inside of you, just find that spot. And imagine you could sort of sit in that seat. And I'm just going to say some phrases and you can repeat them in your mind. And the first one is, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. And now bring to mind someone that you feel very warmly about. It could be a something, it could be a pet, a person. It could even be a small group like this classroom. Maybe your family. And say in your mind, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at peace. Now, in whatever way feels comfortable to you, imagine expanding to include as much of the world as you're comfortable including. There's an awful lot of strife in our world. Whatever you feel comfortable including in your mind, may we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be at peace. And take a moment now to just notice how that feels. There may have been some resistance there for you. Just acknowledge that. Don't criticize. Expand towards compassion for yourself. If it was easy, rest in the ease. To come back into the chair, take a deep breath in. Remember your sense of gratitude as you exhale and land in the chair with your feet on the floor. Taking your time, being kind to yourself. Opening your eyes and just looking around a bit. Oh, maybe moving your neck if there's some tension there. And just look around, give yourself some care. See what you notice. How was that metta or well-wishing meditation? Anybody find it difficult? So online, if you're using the course, or if you go back into the the workbook, you'll see a metta meditation script that's there. It includes another step that I didn't include for us today because it's a little tricky. But it asks you to consider someone that you have distress with. So again, that could be a single person, it could be a group of people, or it could be a situation. So of course my mind is thinking about the Israeli situation. It might be very difficult to extend peace. So if you feel like really expanding yourself, that is an option to try. There's a link online. I can also send it so that it can just be emailed out. Make sure you're in a reasonably good feeling mental state to try that. And if at any point, even if you're just reading the script and you're like, ooh, you're getting like a stress response, cease and desist immediately. It is not worth pushing yourself into a bad mental state or a tricky mental state. Always self-care, right? Even though it might be good to expand, if you expand to the point of contraction, you really haven't gained. So be kind and gentle to yourself. If that inner critic starts wagging its finger at you saying, you should be able to think of people that you don't like and extend well-wishing, you tell it to stop shooting on you. And give yourself some love and care. Alrighty? Okay, thanks for practicing with me.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful week. Take good care.